Is Dragon Ball dead? No. If you've been a long time fan like I have, you've seen these dark times before. Though, in those dark times, the creator of Dragon Ball itself was still alive. May he rest in eternal slumber. But Dragon Ball's in a bit of a weird place. No manga, no anime. There's rumor that they was to confirm in charge. I'm gonna just take it as it's permanently dead. The manga has stopped for obvious reasons, and Dragon Ball's got a MOBA, and Sparking Zero is most certainly dead. And that's kind of crazy. The spiritual successor to the Tenkaichi series is officially dead in water. If you look at these side by side comparisons, the 24-hour peak of the other day into the all time peak, it's kind of insane. This is where we are a year later. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot that it does really good. I really love the transformations, the fighting, the power ups, the fusions. It's captured all the essence of the original, but I think it's lacking a lot of the sauce that made the original so good. And I'm talking about, of course, story beats. There is no fighting movie villains. There is no going into GT or fighting Broly or doing superhero. They released those as characters. You literally unlock the villains, and I don't know. I feel like that something like that is a missed opportunity. One of my favorite what ifs comes from Tenkaichi 2, and that is, of course, Cell beating the Z Fighters in the Cell games and going all the way to GT to, I think, fight Super 17. I love that a lot. I think that's a fantastic what if. Don't get me wrong, Gohan. I just finished Gohan Black the other day. I know I'm a year behind, and I think that's probably one of my favorite what ifs ever. It rocks. Gohan going beyond his potential to beat Frieza, and then doing the Universe 6 tournament, and then fighting Gohan Black. That's a solid what if. Little disappointing we never got to do the Universe 6, Universe 7 tournament. I think Goku going Super Saiyan in the Saiyan Saga is pretty dope. There's a lot it really does good, and I mean that. But I don't know, I feel like it lacks a lot of what made the original so good. One of the biggest complaints I have about Sparking Zero is the story scenes are literally one image and a line of dialogue. Sure, there's some dialogue at some certain point, but the characters aren't being really expressive. They're not really doing anything. And I don't know, that's one thing I always loved about the original Tenkaichi is every scene was animated. Every what if had an animation. Voice acting, and this lacks a lot of the sauce. Yeah, it's got great power-ups, it's got great transformations, it's got great combat, but I don't know, it seems like they wanted to go all in and making a competitive fighting games in the vein of Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter, and I think a lot of these fighting games are just dead in water right now. I think it's insane to me that a name like Dragon Ball, it sold a lot. I think it sold like 3 or 4 million copies, but therein lies the problem that it didn't keep player attention. And as much as I love Dragon Ball, I finally decided to put time into it a year later, and I'm just like, yeah, it's missing a lot of what makes Dragon Ball Dragon Ball. No, I'm not expecting them to add more story content, but it would be nice. It would be nice if we got to be able to fight movie villains in a crazy what if. Now, I like the crazy what ifs that we got. I think they're fantastic. Like playing as Goku Black and enacting the Zero Mortals plan, playing as Frieza all the way into the Tournament of Power and beating our heroes. That's fantastic. That's great. But it feels like it's lacking in a lot of regards. I feel like the game deserved better. The only ones that go to the Tournament of Power, I believe, because I've only done Gohan and Goku, is and Frieza is those three. I don't know what Piccolo does. I don't know if all these other characters don't. But I don't know, it's just lacking a lot of the sauce that made the original Tenkaichi series so good. Like, I like the idea of playing as Goku Black and enacting the Zero Mortals plan. That's dope. The bad guys winning. I'm a sucker for bad endings. I think playing as Frieza and beating our heroes on Namek and beyond is fantastic. I think that rocks. Like, there's a lot that it does good, but playing it for several hours, it just feels very lackluster in a lot of ways. And I don't want that for Dragon Ball games. Though, if you're expecting some AAA award-winning title, you're not gonna get it with Dragon Ball games. They're just not like that. sometimes they capture that essence of what makes Dragon Ball, and then sometimes we get Kakarot. Not to say Kakarot's a bad game, but it's whatever. I think these games are fantastic in every sense of the word. I think they're for the fans, but playing 30 hours into Sparking Zero, I'm just like, it's missing a lot of what made Tenkaichi fun. Yeah, I love playing as overpowered characters and whopping the floor with weaker ones. I love playing through these stories, but not having scenes animated feels like a cop-out. It feels cheap. And that's a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's literally keeping the anime and manga industry afloat. So it's kind of insane to me that they seem to not want to put a lot of money into it. I'm sure they made all their money plus extra, but I don't know, it's just disappointing in that regard. Because I wanted to like Sparking Zero. I literally dropped it a week after launch, and here I am a year later. And I'm just like, it would have been cool if they done even more crazy what ifs like Gohan Black. I would have loved to see a future Gohan arc where Trunks dies and he goes into the past and helps them defeat the android. Would have been fantastic. There's so much that they could have done that they chose not to. And it makes me sad sometimes playing this game, realizing the potential is not there anymore. And I think Dragon Ball deserves a good game. And not to say it's a bad game, but it's lacking in a lot of regards. And a year later, only one map, boasting over 300 characters, and it's just not there. I know this is a shorter video, but I don't know, I'm playing through it this week, and I thought this feels like it's missing something. I can see why I dropped it a week later. Yeah, I would have loved to play as do a future Gohan story. The fact that we only do Super Trunks is disappointing. I would have loved doing more than that, but we don't. We don't get that luxury nowadays. It's almost like they were trying to cut corners. Maybe not. I don't know. And I don't know. Dragon Ball's in a weird place, and that's okay because we've been here before. After GT, it was dead for years. Then we got Battle of the Gods. Then the floodgates open. It's okay for Dragon Ball to take a break. I would love if my other series that I'm a part of would take a break. Like Resident Evil's no time stopping, but I think that can be a bad thing. Fallout's got a TV show in '76. I'm fine with not getting another mainland title for years. So it's at the end of the day, it's a mid game that was trying to position itself as something that it isn't. I don't think it's the spiritual successor to Tenkaichi. I don't. I think it's a bad attempt at it, but that doesn't mean it's a bad game. I think there's potential given time, if they're gonna decide to put time into it, adding more characters, adding more maps. I mean, one map in a year is kind of insane. I mean, the potential is there if they're willing to put the effort into it. But at the end of the day, I'm a sucker for Dragon Ball content. I can't wait for the animated show back up, the manga to continue. Frieza Black is gonna be nuts. That's probably the final arc to end Super, I would assume. I don't know how they can go beyond that because Frieza's the end all be all. Maybe he was training with Cooler. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I'm a Dragon Ball fan, and I want this franchise to succeed and make good video games, have a good manga life, have a good animation series. Because if you remember the early days of Super, brother, that was rough. But that's it, guys. That's the video. I want to hear from you all. If you played Sparking Zero, have you been playing it throughout the year? Or have you dropped it like almost everyone else? And if so, what would bring you back to it? Honestly, me coming back to it just feels empty. And that's crazy. Because I think there's potential for it if they're willing to continue messing with it. I don't know, man. I want it to succeed, but at the end of the day, is it going to? Honest opinion, probably not. But what do you guys think? And if you are still playing, what keeps you playing it? What drives you to keep playing this game? Because I've put 30, 40 hours between PC and PlayStation. I'm just like, wow, this is it. This is all there is to it. Let me know down below. And of course, internet, if you enjoyed the content, hit that like button. Helps your boy get into the algorithm. And of course, if you're feeling super generous, maybe, just maybe, consider subscribing and turning on notification bells to keep updated when I post. Hot Fuzz is coming. I promise. Your boy's been sick, and I'm gonna be putting my nose to the grinder coming up this week. In fact, when this video goes up Friday, your boy will have already hopefully put some legwork into Hot Fuzz. But that's it. That's the video. I love you all. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.